terms of like, what does financially stable look like to you?
Um, being more than comfortable. So financial stability to me is more so having enough, but being able to cater for those around me, like my loved ones. Like obviously, the dream is to retire our parents, to have generational wealth, to have assets. Do you get? So I don't
Okay.
just want to be able to drive a nice car and live in a nice house. I want to be able to impact those around me with my finances as well.
Okay. So, admirable, but we need to slow you down first. Okay.
Mm, 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 mm.
So now, are your parents working?
Oh yeah.
They're working right now. Okay. So this is one of
Mm,
the this is one of the important things I tell, especially to Black people more so,
mm.
especially yeah, especially Black people within Africans actually more so, Black people in general. I think so. There's levels to these things, and this is where I say, do not don't stretch yourself too far. It's compounding. You need to do certain things to get where you need to be.
Of course, yeah.
And so, again, it's like, if I you can't you cannot pour into somebody's cup if there's nothing inside yours. You're just there doing,
Exactly.
you know. So
Exactly.
the first thing I tell like Black people first and foremost is that it's good if you have a conversation with your parents about their retirement plan. Now, obviously, that's the question of if you know how your parents are, because some of them get triggered by that kind of question and all that kind of thing. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of our parents don't necessarily have a retirement plan. And if they don't have a retirement plan, then you are the retirement plan. But most of the people don't realize that they're the retirement plan. So you're going to know it when they retire and they don't have money. Be like, oh, my son, my daughter. So it's good for you to have that conversation, that if you know you're going to be in that position, then it's what it
I
is.
have.
Okay, that's good. But it's important. The
Yeah.
second thing is important, is that if they don't have a retirement plan, I'm not gonna lie, this is where no sympathy in what I'm about to say. If they're still working, they should be contributing to that retirement plan. They should really not be slacking. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I love our parents, but everybody fix up. Like, it's not even a joke thing. Auntie, uncle,
Hmm.
if you know that if you're gonna retire, again, this is where everything needs to be specific, because we, I always take people. Anyway, I'll get to that point in a second. But they need to know, if they want to go to Nigeria, if they want to be in the UK, Ireland, wherever they want to be, how much will it take for them to retire on? How much do they have saved? How much do they make now and working? How much can they put in? So it's very important, not on a rude thing, but you need to be able to um, squeeze as much as possible out of your parents while they're working and contributing. Because for a lot of us, we're looking to take care of our parents, retire our parents. It's all cute and all nice, even though in retrospect, it's supposed to be the other way around. But we find ourselves as a Black generation in a different predicament, that we have to do what we have to do. But especially for us, where our parents are here in the West, as much as they can contribute, because it's as much as they can contribute, because financial stress upon person's head is probably one of the biggest leader to mental problems, stress, with stress be killing people, with suicide, all these things, people coming at home, breakdown, all the kind of things, especially because as young people, especially for a lot of us that have not married or had kids yet, and all these kind of things, it's very hard for us to kind of fully carry all of that weight, especially if you now go and marry somebody who's trying to carry his own family, you're trying to carry family, now you're trying to make family, everybody trying to carry everything. We see some of our aunts, uncles and aunties, they're stressed, and when it
Hmm.
comes to money and family, there's always some bickering and bickering and bickering. Auntie still in Nigeria chatting about land, but we need to do these things the smart way. So it's good that you've had a conversation with your parents about retirement, but now it's also about, not just that it's noble of you as the child wanting to, retire your parents, but your parents need to contribute to that retirement. It's not a oh, she did they raised you and whatever, they did their duty, and even if you don't want to do your duty, even though you want to do your duty to them, they need to contribute for you to be able to do that. You're not in position right now, if they say they want to retire tomorrow, that you can retire them. So that's not the position you're in today. So to retire your parents as they're working now, again, you need to have the conversation how much they're going to put into it, or even, to be honest, put some responsibility on their head to be able to look at you to retire. Because I always tell people, like, looking at kids to retire you, knock wood, but there's no guarantee any of us are here tomorrow. So what happens if I go tomorrow? Then my mama is just looking at my grave, being like, child, I don't just lose my retirement at the same time. So at least if my mom is saving £200 here or there, at least she started with something. She's
Yeah.
got a 1 month emergency plan. If she has to go back to work, at least she can sit down for 1 month and she knows what she's doing. And then obviously when you come into saving, then depending on your parents' age and whatnot, that's when you now talk about investing or where to invest, and ideally just invest in index funds, especially if they're closer to retirement and whatnot. Just simple fund, index fund, S&P 500, FTSE 250 to 100. I don't know what it is in Dublin, but these are the ones that everybody be doing over here. Well, and
So investments work the same all over the world, but
sorry.
I'm pretty sure. I feel like no, continue. Sorry, what were you saying?
No. I know they're the same all over the world. I mean, like, I don't know what that FTSE 100 and 250 are the top in the UK. S&P 500
Yeah.
is top in America. You've got like the Deutsche is a DBX. I think Ireland have
Mm,
their own. I mean, every country has their top whatever index.
mm,
That's what I mean. But obviously S&P 500 best. I like FTSE 250 as well because that's good for me. But yeah,
mm,
so you're in terms of retirement. So, before we get you to comfortable, we need to define what comfortable looks like. Okay.
mm,
So, because a lot of us, we say comfortable.
yeah.
So how much is comfortable?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm comfortable now, but I'm more so complacent than comfortable. Like I'm okay with what I have, which isn't good enough. So
So it's not, what's not good enough about what you have right now?
I just I feel stagnant. Do you get like I'm able to obviously pay my rent, feed myself, give my siblings, pocket money and the support they need from afar. But it's like I can do better. I know I can.
Okay. So I would say to you this, yeah. So again, similar to the cup, it's one of those ones where when you want to help people, the best position to help people is when you've helped yourself first. So
Mm,
I would say to you this, in terms of getting yourself in this financial journey, the simple formula is spend less, save more, invest more, make more money, and then worry about taxes. And then along the way, as you increase your money, you increase your savings and investment, and then when you get to a certain point, you care, it's taxes you're worrying about. It's, it is what it is. That's what it is.
mm,
But but in terms of growing from a bottom up kind of thing, first thing, obviously, it seems like you have an income, seems like you're sustaining yourself. Your next thing is to create that emergency fund. So creating an emergency fund, start by obviously creating a first month, a 3 month, and then a 6 month. Now, 6 month can take 2 years to create, or a year or 2 years, depending on how you save. But first thing you want to aim for is 1 to 3 months. Now, your emergency fund, now when you create your budget, there's going to be 5 buckets to your budget. Depending on where you are in life, there may be 0 in some aspects. You have your needs, you have your wants, you have your savings, you have your investments, and you have your debts. So your needs are, if shit hit the fan, if you pay these, you have roof over your head, you have small food to eat, and you have no creditors or bill people or people coming to come for you. In terms of needs, this is what you need: transport to get to work, food to eat, shelter. It's got nothing to do with any extracurricular, except any of these things are seriously attached to your mental health. Like for some people, gym is attached to their mental health, so it may be a need as opposed to, I like gym. It's, if it's not seriously attached, don't go, some people just be making excuses. Oh, Netflix. No, it's not. It's not that deep. Like if you were bare bones, they took all your money. Are you gonna buy your Netflix subscription and live outside? So, you wouldn't even be able to. Then your wants is anything extra. Savings is the money you save. Then investments is the money that you save to invest, and then debts, obviously credit cards, loans, any of those kind of things. And so when you come to when it comes to your emergency fund, if you have debts, then your emergency fund should include all your minimum payments for your debts, all your needs, and then maybe maybe small money for wants. And that is those are your. Then when it comes to saving investment, you kind of just stop, unless you want to involve that into your emergency fund, which is kind of counterintuitive. So your emergency fund should be your needs plus your debts, and then maybe some wants that will keep you going, depending on what lifestyle you want. Assuming you lost your job, you lost all income, how much you would need, and then you can actually extend it as much as you want. So if your needs in terms of rent and whatever, plus if you have no debts, let's say your rent and food, maybe let's say that's £1,000. And then but you want to have like £2,000 so that you can keep your lifestyle up for that month. That's what you do on friends and going out. That's £2,000. So if you want 3 months, you need £6,000. If you want 6 months, you need £12,000. And that's why it can take up to like a couple of years for you to get to the 6 months. So what you want to do is that you want to get the first month going first. So that's your emergency fund. So there's emergency fund. There's something called so make your first month or go up to 3 months, but start off with the first month. Then there's something called a sinking fund. So a sinking fund is basically money you put aside that is separate from your emergency fund, because emergency fund is purely for emergency, not it's not all my days I'm gonna be late. It's serious emergency, not like somebody's severely sick. I'm gonna be homeless. I'm losing my job. Not I missed my train today. Can you buy me a ticket right now? That's not an emergency. You messed up. Jump the train. Tell them you thought it was the same train. The ticket man will, unless the ticket man's a waste man, they should just allow you. If they don't, then give them your middle name that's not on any documents. I didn't say anything, and then let them be going. But like emergency, then the sinking fund is basically like if you have things you're trying to do, then it's for example, if you want to buy a house, you want to go on holiday, you want to buy a car, you want to do all these things, then these are the saving pots you put those money to. Even if it's £20, whatever, you put money towards that so that you have money set aside for the financial goals you want to achieve. And then you have any extra, obviously save and invest. You should be investing, but in terms of just saving in general, then you kind of know what disposable income you have. Then for the next thing you probably want to be looking at is investing, and consistently investing, whether that, even if it's £10 a month, £20 a month, whatever it may be. Continue investing, especially if you have an emergency fund. Because the thing is, now if you have an emergency fund, get to 3 months, then when you come to be helping people, then you're already secure that that you're helping people, but you're not holding yourself back from the goals you're trying to achieve. Then it comes down into investing and building wealth and doing all those kind of things, and all those other venues. For example, like let's say you want to buy, a good one for you to understand is, I don't know why my nose is itching me. A good one for you to understand would, in the sense of, and when you break down your money into these different pots, then you understand that there's a difference between having money, or basically there's a difference between what you have in your bank account and what you can afford. And so what you can afford is basically how much do you have, like, the idea when it comes to budgeting is that you should give your money a name. Even investing, the idea of investing in somebody, I forgot who said this, but he said that basically investing is basically your money is like a little armies. Send them outside to go and win battles for you and bring back prisoners. That's the whole point. When you get to a point where your money is making money, then you are now in a more secure point. And so I went blank. What was I saying?
You